So this is our nature area. This is the area that once you come through the gate, you see on the right side with all the different trees there. There are two different trails that you can go on. You can walk around it, but you can also go into the center. And in the middle there is a bird blind. The bird blind is an area where you can hide and be behind a board so that you can see all the different kinds of creatures that there are. There might be a red-bellied woodpecker, or there might even be an eastern chipmunk that might scurry through the woods. You never know what you might find. But this area is very important, and certainly in a big city like Philadelphia. These nature areas are critical areas because they provide habitat for all these different animals. Some areas, like in some areas of Philly, there aren't many trees, and trees are important to these animals. So having just a little bit of a nature area is really crucial. Now, in this woods here, in this little nature area, there's many different types of plants and animals. Some of them are what we would say native, which is from eastern United States. Things like the eastern hemlock that is native. Also, the white oak, which is native. There's also a black oak, which is also native. But then there are other non-native plants. There's this tree called the tree of heaven. Now that's very invasive. It is non-native to the United States. And will actually what's the difference exactly of non-native and native? Non-native is when it is not from the area. So things like these tree of heaven, they are not native to the area. They are from different countries of the world. And what happens is these trees will come to United States. People do use them in different ways. Sometimes they'll plant the seeds because it's a nice specimen tree. But the issue is with these invasive trees is they will compete with the native trees, and they aren't as good for native wildlife. So what is more important to things like a gray squirrel? What is more important? An oak tree that provides oak trees, or this tree of heaven that doesn't do much for the animals? Of course, the oak trees are more important. The thing is, these tree of heavens grow so fast and so quick that there's not enough area that they can take over an area before the oak trees even establish. So the oak trees don't get to grow. And then also, I don't know how many of you guys have heard, but there's a really bad bug. Now, this bad bug has been taken over a lot of a lot of Pennsylvania, and is starting to spread in eastern United States. It's called the spotted lanternfly. That's that little bug in the lower left-hand corner. That little bug may look colorful and interesting, but it is not a good bug. What it does is it taps into the tree, sucks out all the sap or as much sap as it can have, which can actually, if there's enough bugs, enough of these lanternflies, it could kill the tree. So things like maple trees are being extremely affected by these bugs, and some are even dying because these bugs are actually killing the trees. Now, I don't know how many of you guys like grapes, but grapes are an important part in a lot of agriculture. You eat them, and some people drink it in juice. But these bugs love grapes. And what they'll do is they'll find the stem of the grapevine, they'll tap into the grapevine stem, drink out that sap, and it will kill that grapevine. So these bugs are not good. And they're not even from the United States. They were brought in accidentally on a pallet of rock. The eggs are they look like it looks like mud that was scraped on whether it's rocks or bark, and out they come these little nymphs that eventually turn into this lanternfly, and these bugs will just decimate all the native species. But there's also other non-native species. If you see one of these lanternflies, try and kill it. Step on it. If not, it's okay. They're really good at jumping. So anyway, back at the native and non-native species. Other native species in shrubbery wise included spicebush or American holly, but there are some non-native bushes, including Japanese knotweed. Now, this Japanese knotweed and Japanese barberry, which is a very spiky plant, it almost feels like a needle's hitting you when you walk into it. They're bad bushes because they will just take over an entire area and they won't let the native species grow up. Another interesting thing about the Japanese barberry is ticks, like the little bad bugs that can get you Lyme disease. They love barberry. They love it because it provides cover for them. Mostly because that's where their mice live that have the ticks. So barberries are good to get rid of because not only are they non-native and they can get rid of them that way, but also it prevents the ticks from going there too. So that's hitting two birds with one stone, which is great. Now, nature areas are very important because, like I said, they provide a lot of habitat and a lot of cover. But let's see what else we have on the farm here.